Hello, students. This is Professor Varun Shenoy. I am your coach, your facilitator, and professor for the value added paper of leadership attitude and industry analysis. For this semester, I'll be taking you through the necessities or the requirements for a university student to develop his or her leadership skills and analyze industry as a whole. In this paper, you are required to perform the activities that will be given to you as a part of assessment to judge you, to know how much managerial and leadership abilities you have accumulated at the end of this semester. I would like to start this class initially in an online mode methodology owing to the global pandemic, but 30 days from now you can also have me in live in your class physically for this subject. I urge all my students to be attentive during the entire session of this learning and also work towards achieving the contents of the study studiously. So let us begin. What do you mean by leadership or a leader? Leader, may all have heard Mahatma Gandhi, right? He was the leader, Quit India movement, focused at the British. The father of a nation fought for the cause and successfully succeeded in driving out the British on August 15th, 1947. So, a leader in the business scenario is also part of the hierarchy who has been entrusted for a cause. In the business sense, a leader has a cause of ensuring that the organization is driven towards profitability and the shareholders' interests and their wealth have been maximized. Okay? So, in the simplest terms, when I say leader is for a cause, there should be a cause. Okay? That's why leader exists. So, in this class or this paper, you will be learning this paper through assignments, research conferences, group work, case studies, seminars, presentations, and orientation programs. Okay? You will be shared with the unit wise contents or components of the paper as to what you are going to learn in terms of leader or leadership. Okay, so let's move on. So let me tell you about the meaning and need for leadership. Leader is a person, an employee of the organization entrusted with the cause of driving his organization towards profitability and also facilitating his employees to ensure profitability and efficiency. Leaders in the group hierarchy or in the organizational hierarchy with their team of managers ensure that all the tasks or the deliveries that is been entrusted as an organization is been delivered in a given period of time and in a given framework at a nominal cost, right? So let us take an example of a company called Coca-Cola, correct? So Coca-Cola is a company, it's a corporate organization. So they will be having a board of directors, a chairman, a CEO, and function-wise teams. Now, when I say marketing team, right? For example, to make you understand the need for leadership, there is the marketing manager, correct? Yes, correct. Now, for any organization survival, they will have to sell and generate revenue, because if you do not generate revenue, there is no intention or goal or the zeal for having a business undertaking. Let's take an example of sales leadership in Coca Cola. Let me tell you, when Coca Cola was first incorporated, they only sold, my friends, only 25 bottles, correct? But over a course of time, now they are a global multinational giant, selling a range of products, different verticals. Am I right? And everyone drinks Coca Cola, right, nowadays. They like it. Go to McDonald's, go to Domino's, any retail food chain, the Coca Cola brand is always there. Even in small shops, they succeeded in penetrating and selling it to the even bottom of the pyramid market and people too. How was all this possible? Is the question which must be striking you now, right? It was all possible, friends, because of leadership. It through planning. So I would like to align. Leadership is a process whereby a entrusted leader in an organization integrates the men, material, resources, and all other components of an organization, manages it, adds value to it, and delivers it to the final consumer. So, in the entire process of the life cycle, from a Coca Cola bottle has been made to the delivery of the bottles, there is leadership, there is managerial decision, there is decision making. Decision making is possible only because of leadership. Okay? Decision making is only possible because of leadership and managerial and management skills, which you are going to learn or study in this paper as much as you can. Okay? So, leadership refers to a activity by an interested employee of the organization called leader or a manager to lead a specific set of team resources and other components to ensure a value is delivered to the final consumer. When you lead, there are a lot of challenges, my friend. Each step or each day of an organizational life is full of challenges. Challenges can come from different angles: the internal environment or the external environment of an organization. When I say internal environment, let's say organizational behavior, employee engagements, right? Then their media policy of the organization, whatnot. And also from the external side, the governmental policies, the regulations, the economic conditions, and such. So a leader has to effectively tackle both the internal components in an environment as well as the external components in an environment. So to do this job, they need to have the skills, right? So we will understand what are the type of skills the leader requires in these sessions. So before we move further, you must have understood from the example I gave by quoting Mahatma Gandhi as to who a leader is, and by quoting the example of Coca-Cola, what leadership is, correct? So you can remember Mahatma Gandhi, Coca-Cola, Mahatma Gandhi leader, Coca-Cola case on leadership as to how they sold their bottles, right? Good. Now, this paper is divided into 4 units. I told you the pedagogy, assignments, research conferences, group work, presentations, and seminars. Now, the contents of the paper is divided into 4 units. First one involves introduction, meaning into the leadership, the leadership and attitude building. Then the rest part of the paper involves analyzing an industry, a sector in a company, so that you know what a larger picture is in a framework as to what should be your focus on in terms of career, job, or entrepreneurship. Okay, so that's very important. Now, of course, you will be learning the skills that is needed to become the next leader, budding leader in organizations. Let me bring out who or what are the types of leaders you can find in an organization, my friend. Now, the first kind of leader basically is an autocratic leader. Then you have bureaucratic or democratic leader. Then we have laissez-faire. Okay, so these are in basic are the most important three types of leaders: autocratic, bureaucratic or democratic, and the third one is laissez-faire. Okay. Let's break this down. So, autocratic leader refers to a type or kind of a leader based on who or what he is. Okay, it's a kind of a human being approach of how a human being will behave and act when he or she is found to be referred to as autocratic. Autocratic is a kind of leadership style which is completely authoritarian. Okay, authoritarian, supervising, and dominating. So, these are the three important components of an autocratic leader. An autocratic leader does not listen to anybody on any matters. The decisions once taken by the autocratic leader will have to be implemented at no cost. Most of the United States companies, corporations in US, they follow autocratic leadership in their organizational hierarchy. So I believe everybody are aware of organizational hierarchy. Organizational hierarchy is a kind of a system that's been gifted to us by the British or the Westerners or even the Americans to have the leadership executed. So when I say what is an organizational hierarchy, let me tell you, it all starts with general manager, then comes team leader, then you come senior associate, then associate trainee. Okay, so that's the upward thing that is coming down to the structure of the organization. Similarly, there is horizontal, vertical, and other different types of reporting. Any questions, of course, you will be having in this class, I wish you to write down, yeah, so that you can make a note of it and carry it to the classroom when we begin the classes physically. Okay, now moving on. Bureaucratic leader. A bureaucratic leader is a type of leader who is very democratic, I would say. You know, democracy, everyone is free or everyone is empowered to do and live as they can in a more engaging methodology of working. So people talk to each other, People resolve their differences. People strike a common ground of understanding. There is consensus. If there is no consensus, there is a bargaining. There are negotiations. But they ensure it is done in a respected and level playing field. A company following a bureaucratic and democratic structure in leadership, or the kind of people who are working as leader and are democratic, the environments tend to be very serene, very lovely, and a very upbeat environment. Whereas the environment which I explained you erstwhile, the autocratic, it's more chaotic, loud, noisy. Best example for an autocratic leadership would be in investment banks, where there is traders booking trades, and there is cutoffs, there are risks. You have to book a FX or foreign exchange trade within a given time, else you lose money. So you need a hardcore leader there, right, to monitor them, supervise them, to ensure that is done and that is delivered. Full stop. That's why we have autocratic leadership there in some banks. Yes. Whereas if you take an example of healthcare services, will this work? Put full stop? No. If somebody is into stem cell, where the donation of umbilical cord for further clinical research in a sales process or in a sales leadership in such organization, it is more of a counseling based atmosphere. You can follow the bureaucratic leadership. Okay, the third one, laissez-faire leadership style. Laissez-faire, Laissez-Faire, laissez-faire. It's a kind of an organization where the leaders presume or understand that they have done enough to empower their employee to take their own decisions and come back to them on the results. Yeah, pretty interesting, right? This kind of leadership structure is a mixture of autocratic, bureaucratic, and some more elements of human psychology, right, involved in the decision making and how they interact for their clients, vendors, customers, and stakeholders in general. In a laissez-faire organization, there would be a limited levels of reporting because the general manager or the main manager knows what their bottom or middle level employees are bound to do. Whereas in case of autocratic management where things are very harsh, there is micromanaging. Micromanagement refers to observation by a supervisor as to what his employee is doing, sitting, eating, minute by minute, second by second, and report it on the hierarchical ladder. That's autocratic. Bureaucratic is macro management, where people know that every people has their own responsibilities and there is accountability that is been fixed and it's been delivered. Dear students, it's high time for you at this moment of time, right? You're in the mid time of your BBA studies, right? You're in the mid sem of your BBA studies to develop OAR. Now, what is OAR? O for okay, O for ownership, A for accountability, R for responsibility, OAR. Ownership, accountability, and responsibility. So everybody on their actions, what they do, has to own things, being accountable and should be responsible. Okay? So these three types of leaders or leadership, which I explained, these were the most basic ones. But now, as the industry 4.0, technological development, robotics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning are in the juncture, it's time for to you to know there are certain other styles of leadership, such as situational leadership, transformational leadership. This transformational leadership happened because of globalization. Correct. Most of the businesses who wanted to migrate from their domesticated country to foreign countries, attracted by the resources and generate more income, more and more income. People in the home country organization started recruiting expats or the residents of the domesticated countries for outsourcing or transitioning or transforming their business to another soil. For example, India, if I take the example of banking, had only the traditional retail banks. When I say traditional retail banks, Canara Bank, State Bank of India, who are only involved in providing banking services to the general public, the government, and few other institutions. But when the foreign banks arrived, when during 95, 96, post the then Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao opened it for LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. The kind of business that is done in banking, like corporate banking, global banking, foreign exchange and money markets were also being brought to Indian markets, and even we learned how those market can be harnessed and what financial services that can be given to the consumers or the customers and ensure we are booking profit. So a leader entrusted with transforming that business style or methodology or model transformed and brought to his home soil and executed it, right? So he is known as a transformational leader. Take Infosys for example. Infosys CEO spends majority of time in the US. If let's take 30 days in a month, 20 days he is there in United States and 10 days he is in India. Why? India is already knowing Infosys, and Infosys is a brand name, famous brand name in India, and they have markets, but they need to make large profits to provide better value to their investors and shareholders. So what they do, they go to markets like US, where ease of doing business is pretty easy, and drive the business over there and capture the market. So Vishal Sikka, the ex-CEO of Infosys, he was responsible for going to US, spending time there, talking to clients over there, and then capturing the market and then onboarding such clients to Infosys. So he went to that market in states and transformed how Infosys was doing business priorly in US and brought it back to Infosys so that Infosys studied its performance. So that is transformational leadership. Situational leadership is based on the present method of startups or entrepreneurs who use their situation leadership to set up their businesses organizations in the initial stage. Flipkart, right? Oyo Rooms, Trivago. There are many other startups, right? So when an entrepreneur launches his organization at a small scale initially, he or she will use situational leadership, correct? Because the organization is small, very few employees, no one employs, right? What do? You use situational leadership. That what is good for me, I do it. What is better, we can encash it or exploit the market, right? So these are the types of leadership for you today in the class. So now I'm happy that in the very first class I welcomed you to the structure of this paper, the units involved in this paper. I explained to you who is a leader, Mahatma Gandhi in terms of Quit India, leadership in terms of Coca-Cola, and I also told you what are the types of leader or leadership: autocratic, bureaucratic, laissez-faire, and then there are some more. There's like situational leadership and transformational leadership, which I gave example of Infosys for transformational, and for situational I gave you example of new business or entrepreneurship that's been incorporated for the first time. Okay, so these are the certain entry level information for you all on leadership. We are going to progress on the essential elements or factors that is involved to do a leadership job or a leadership role in an organization, as well as we will be also discussing about the various theories of leadership. In addition to the types of leaders, there are certain think tanks and researchers who have uh, propagated or propagated their theory, like theory X, theory Y, theory Z, which we are definitely we're going to talk on the next class. Yeah. Then we are going to talk about the attitude. But you have to wear up your shoulders and sleeves to display yourself as a leader in campus or in your job, wherever you are. Okay. And, this is a 50 marks paper, and there will be assignments that will be granted to you in coming classes, where you are requested to perform it either through referring to the internet, or either through going out to the market, or through shadow learning, experiential learning, and various other pedagogies. Okay, this subject is pretty essential for you as a value add in addition to the subjects you are learning. The learning of this paper will be more effective when you are yourselves immersed in the actual understanding of a business. So I appeal to each and every one of you that in your free time, try to do some small jobs and try to earn some pocket money. The value of money will definitely know when you get your first payment, but you'll also understand what an organization is, what are the challenges involved in working, what is a career, and how to deliver a job. People who are coming, or once the college is physically opened, October 1st, as per the government of Karnataka, I request most of you to take up jobs in, or part-time jobs in forum mall retail organizations or agency of insurance or anything. A small one as a part of a responsibility in you, to get a sense of purpose in you that you are a business management student, and you can relate your experience of that with this subject. Okay, and we'll also be engaging with your class very actively. We will be choosing two leaders for the subject. So they will be called as SCLs, subject class leaders. Now, the subject class leaders, one boy, one girl, because we have to maintain gender equality, are entrusted to represent their class with me or placement cell, or represent me or the placement cell into their classroom. Responsibilities include collection of assignment items, or announcement of, or any announcements related to the subject, right? And few others which you will come to know. So people who have been interested to take this opportunity are requested to raise your hands in the class, or the best way is to come to the stage and self pitch them rather than anyone proposing anybody. Let's make it little transparent. And if they convince the class, the entire class, I have no problem to take this role. Okay, so student leaders will be part of the subjects for the effective governance of this paper and effective implementation of this paper too. During the online class session time, there will be few tasks, my friends, in addition to seeing this video on this two topic of meaning and need of leadership and types of leader. And you have to come back or revert to the task that is given in the classroom hours to claim your attendance. Okay, so if I give you a link, a web link, right, and you got to go there, understand, and come back with your findings, maybe a sentence or two sentences or point wise arrangement of your understanding, so as to convince me that during the class hours you are active and you have indeed done some research and some efforts to study the content. All right, so you will have to report back to claim your attendance. Since in this setup we cannot see you directly, this way by through task management we can ensure that everybody has been participating. So questions, please note it down. I promise that once you all are back in the class, I will ensure that I will solve it all. Okay, solve it all for you all. So raise questions. That's a very good habit. You have to get questions. That's also an important quality of a leader. If you want to lead, you have to be very curious, very open-minded, right? So these points I'm going to tell you in the next class under the essential elements of leaders. There are many: open-minded, curious, positive, various other points to dwell upon. Okay, so all the best for completing today's classroom assignments. Until we meet next week again in an online mode. Until then, see you. Bye.